The Eastern Cape in South Africa. Most of the 8 million Xhosa, the tribe of Nelson Mandela, live here. During apartheid, this part of the Transkei was primarily an area for black people. Lonwabo Singama has a passion for playing football. Every year in the summer holidays, he visits his grandmother in this part of the Cape. To celebrate his arrival, his uncle buys a sheep. Most adults of the Singama family earn their money in big cities like Durban and Cape Town. The rare times when they visit their relatives in the countryside, it is something special. Lonwabo enjoys the meat, which he doesn't get to eat very often. During the holidays, the 15-year-old city dweller has a very different lifestyle. In the morning, he helps his cousin with milking. After that, he must guard the cattle. There is no electricity here, and only recently a water source.
I'm not really used to this place. There's no electricity, for example. The grass is thick, you can't even kick the ball far. So, yeah, that's all.
No electricity means no television. But the worst thing for Lonwabo is that he cannot train. When it rains, there is nothing to do. It's boring here. His mother Winifred works in Cape Town as a nurse. Where she can, she supports the dreams of her son.
My favorite soccer club in South Africa is Kaizer Chiefs, but overseas is Liverpool FC, Liverpool United. But I wouldn't like to start off my career, maybe if I have a career, by playing for Liverpool. I would like to start with AC Milan because they play brilliant football.
Why do you think you have a career in football, in soccer?
Me having a career is because I think I'm good. I think I'm good.
This is where the 15-year-old plays football, in a township 25 kilometres outside of Cape Town. It is mainly mixed race or coloured people who live in Manenberg. Although Lonwabo is black, he feels at home here. For some time, Lonwabo's mother has lived in the Cape Flats, in the shanty area in the vicinity of Cape Town. She found work here, which she could not find in the Eastern Cape. Roughly 70 to 80,000 people live in the shanty towns of Manenberg. Nobody can know exactly how many. Manenberg was created by the mass expulsion in the 60s of 3.5 million people from the white areas. The apartheid government tore down whole settlements to separate white, black and coloured. In the new housing estates, there was little infrastructure, few shops and bad schools. Since 1999, Lonwabo has lived here with his family in a 2-room apartment. His mother shares Lonwabo's enthusiasm for football. This poster hangs in her bedroom. Lonwabo does all his homework in here. There is no other quiet room. Lonwabo and his sister sleep on mattresses in the living room.
Living here is another life, a difficult life, because as you see, there's a lot of gangsters here, you see, and this business of drugs, children smoking drugs, you see. So I'm very glad, really, because this football thing is going to keep him out of all these troubles.
Right back to gaan van mij nou. Kom eens zacht, kom eens. Kom eens.
Come on.
1, 2, 3.
Orient FC, Football Club Orient. It is the second home for many children from the township. All their spare time is spent on the football field. Here they are accepted, whether black or coloured. All that counts is how many goals they shoot. The coaches often act as a substitute for the fathers who haven't stayed with their families.
If you don't support the kids after school, and then they will go back to the streets and do gangsterism and drugs. And mostly in the area where we live is a new drug called tick. And if any kid gets involved into that drug, then we're sitting with a big problem. The drug lords, what they can give you, do something for them, and then you will get some salary on a daily, weekly or monthly basis. So for any kid, they can stay at home, they will get some free bucks and just do what they've been asking to do. I'm prepared to take you where the
Fadi
gangsters
Hassan
come to
takes
play
us on a
with
ride
you.
through his neighbourhood.
Did you witness gang fights?
Yes, a lot. It was like on a daily basis, where you can just like stand on the side and you watch a live movie. So that was the action before.
What did you see?
Oh, a lot of stabbing, a lot of shooting. People been hijacked. In my road, people were like shoot, dead out of cars. Yeah, that's the way.
Okay. Are you going to meet some people there too?
Wait, that side?
Yeah.
Yeah, but they already so money, so I don't want to go there.
Oh.
And in this area, kids must run around for their lives. Shooting is happening on a daily basis. Alright. So if you have a look to on the walls, what they write here, the graffiti is all about gangsterism. Just hold on. This is also one of the gang leaders. Yeah. And this is people that try to get away now from gangsterism, and they just try to support the kids off the street. So they try just to change their lives, and before they were being involved with like people in this area, they call it sevens.
13 to 14 I began a gangster, but the year 2000 when I came out of jail, I forget about everything.
He was one of the main guys. Was it alright? And I say skinny when he soccer skied in whatever now. So
What does it mean to be one of the main guys?
I did work with groups, with my friends, and we became a gang.
And what did you have to do?
Anything,
Killing, shooting.
anything.
What is anything?
Killing, shooting, robbing, all that stuff. Yeah, Fadil, 5 months. Why?
Without our guide, we would have had no chance to meet these gangsters, let alone talk to them. Manenberg means drugs and gangs. More and more dangerous drugs promote violence in people without money or work. Crack, tick, ice, whatever they are called, all make the user aggressive and erratic. The gangs fight brutally for their territory. If a young person from another gang enters the wrong neighbourhood, he will be killed. Many end up sooner or later in custody. It is rare to see any young boys behind bars. In the new South Africa, they go to so-called safe houses, youth institutions. Previously, they were merged with adults. The real prisons are known as universities, because here they get a higher education in crime. The gang's tags are tattooed or scratched into the skin. When a gang member is killed, the laws of revenge dictate that 2 members of the opposing gang must be killed. I study those who hate me, the gang's mantra. In the prison, laws are very strict among the inmates. If one breaks the code of honour, he is brutally punished, mostly through rape. The confiscated guns at the police station attest to the fact that for many young men, gang membership is the only realistic job prospect. Townships are an ideal breeding ground for crime. Most of the boys leave school early. Their home gives them no support. Many people don't know their fathers. Inspector Llewellyn Lakai has been working in law enforcement in Manenberg for 19 years. He knows about the problems of young people here.
Peer pressure is one of them, and sense of belonging. Due to domestic violence, lots of them don't want to feel that they need be needed in their houses, so they move to the streets where they get acceptance.
Broken family structures, violence, drug addiction, alcoholism. The list of problems is long. The boys see how difficult it is for their parents to make ends meet. Money is always scarce around here. Only the criminals have the money to sit around, and that pulls boys in. We visit the family of a former notorious gang leader. No one stood in his way, until he too was assassinated.
Reality can be so hard sometimes, and it's okay.
13-year-old Oric is the grandson of the former gangster boss. Oric listens to his aunt practicing for a singing competition. 7 family members share the apartment. Each bed is doubled up.
And is it the way you say my name? This look in your eyes makes me your slave. There's no one to blame, 'cause baby, you put a spell on me.
In Manenberg, sometimes it's like well to bring your children up in Manenberg, and sometimes it's not, because it's not all the children that's turning out to be gangsters. Some of them they like have talent and then they go far places like that. But for me, Manenberg, it's not like a place to raise boys.
Gang members have no future. My grandfather was feared until he was shot 3 years ago in a car. They shot 2 pistols empty. He had no chance. So I would not like to become a gangster. I'd rather play soccer and trumpet in my spare time. Fadi Al-Hassant used to run a professional football club. Today he gives 85 children the chance to escape the vicious circle of gang life. The youngest is 5 years old. Oric also started to play at the age of 5. Everything is financed by a former gang member who today earns his money as a rugby pro. Oric would also like to be a professional, but in football.
Because our community, there's nothing else that really keeps the child busy. We don't have any facilities around us except making sports on our own. We don't have a swimming pool near here. We don't have parks for amusement centers and stuff like that. Not like an amusement center will be the good one. I prefer doing sport with kids.
Fadi Al-Hassant is not only the founder of the football clubs, but has also set up the Ashwin Willemse marching band. As Oric started to learn the trumpet 8 years ago, he is the youngest member of the marching band. South Africa, it is the most popular band parade. The young members often win prizes in competitions. I am happy that I am not in with the gangsters. It is better to be in a band and play in a football club. Then we also get a chance to fly in a plane to other places.
With the airplane. Because I saw it's like you get lots of opportunities, you do lots of things, and it's just, everything is just wonderful to experience.
Once a year, the Cape Malay, a group of so-called coloureds, can forget their often difficult life. At the beginning of the year, thousands prepare for the carnival in their neighbourhood. In each township, the music clubs compete. Who has the best costume? Who has the best music? And who are the best performers? It is hard work, even for Auric. The area around Cape Town is considered the most beautiful region of South Africa. In the first days of each year, the inhabitants of the townships have only one thing in mind: to put on the best celebrations. The carnival is as important here as the carnival in Rio is for the Brazilians. The Ashwin Willemse band has taken part in the competition for many years and has won the first prize several times. Fadi Al Hassant wants his marching band to be completely in front this year. A 4-star hotel, palm trees, beach and pool. Not in South Africa, but in the north of Malaysia. The Win Group has been invited for the 4th time to participate in the world competition of the marching bands. The young people are accompanied by parents and teachers.
Most of them never ever dreamt of going overseas, let alone going out of their immediate surroundings. So if we can create that opportunity to them, we can create ambassadors for learners in our community. And maybe that can have a spiraling effect so that other learners can look up to them also and see that yes, there are a better life if we are prepared to work at it and obviously stay away from all the wrong things that's happening in our community.
It's nice here, but also hard work. We need to practice a lot. If we have bad grades, we can no longer play in the band. Uncle Far shouts at us sometimes, and then I get scared. Uncle Far keeps the children busy. He demands a lot because he wants to give them a future.
I told my son, if you should become a gangster, I will take a gun and shoot you myself before you even start to become a gangster. I'm not going to raise gangsters. We were raised with discipline and we have values in our family.
South Africa versus Malaysia in the Youth League. For the young boys, it is a real challenge. "13-year-old Auric must prove that he can keep up with the older football players. This is not always easy. But the South Africans are better and win. In the competition of the best international military musicians, the South Africans have to line up 4 times. It is their first performance in the north of Malaysia. The Indonesians and Malays march more accurately than the participants from the African continent. In the capital city of Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur, the kids have a day off to explore. The school accompany Auric and his friends on their tour of the metropolis. A visit to the highest tower of the Petronas Towers of Asia is a must. They don't see such things at home in South Africa. After 2 weeks of practicing daily and preparation, it begins. The final display for the international competition in Kuala Lumpur. The South Africans don't win, but they get a prize for their extravagant show. And at home in Manenberg, there is one more award for them. Medals and trophies in recognition of the most dedicated players of the past year. The first prize for the best player of the Orient FC goes to
none other than Mr. Lonwabo Singama.
The 15-year-old Lonwabo. The award goes to a black South African. Lonwabo hadn't expected that. He has managed to secure his place amongst the mixed-race team members. There may no longer be official segregation in South Africa, but it still exists in the minds of the people. The various groups, black, coloured and white, still live separately. But here in the football club, all that counts is how good you are.
They accept that I'm African and we get along pretty good, yeah. I'm responsible, my input of the club, me being good behavior as well, and maybe not my football a little bit good, yeah.
About 85% got the chance, and especially if I can point out to Nwabo, he's one of our African kids, and I will assist him also in future to become one of the Bafana players.
Bafana is the South African national team who will attempt to prove themselves here before the eyes of the world in Cape Town's new World Cup stadium. The stadium was designed by German architects. The boys from Manenberg visit the football temple in the months before its completion. They cannot afford tickets to the World Cup itself. Anyone who comes from the Manenberg Township comes from a poorer background. A difficult childhood is the norm. Drugs offer the easiest escape. Boys like Auric and Lonwabo are exceptional phenomena in the school.
Are you guys alright?
They should be role models, like this young man from Manenberg in the photo, who is now a professional rugby player in South Africa, as the headmaster explains to them both.
Professional rugby. One day, he's now 21 years old and he's already made his mark playing for the Stormers at the professional level. Although the stigma is still attached to the person, that people always say that if you are from Manenberg, you're either a gangster or you're not well mannered and so on. But there's a lot of good people living in Manenberg, and if I look at the youth of today, we need to create that opportunities for them to change their condition also.
70% of the residents of Cape Town's townships are Muslim. The rest are Christian. The gangster bosses have no religion. To them, what counts is who can assert themselves the most brutally. The younger residents have to try to grow up differently, finish school, and avoid the spiral of violence.
One day, a professional soccer player. Okay, but before he's going to become a soccer player, he must first help us here today. Okay? Off you go, youngster.
Auric and Lonwabo are examples for the younger generation. They show them that you can have dreams, which can come true if one exerts himself. Proudly Manenberg is such a project. Its message is be proud of Manenberg. In the past, this place was a dump. volunteers have made it into a park.
Manenberg is a place where there's social decay, where the youth are school dropouts. Out of every 300 youth who enter high school, only 15 will complete the school. So there's 285 youth who have no hope for the future, where kids get caught up in gangsterism and violence, where adults don't have job opportunities, where people are sitting around on the streets. Therefore, we've decided to take ownership of the situation and ensure that the youth, the kids who grow up in Manenberg, grow up in a new environment and a new society.
Around 100 people are involved here for their community. Lonwabo and his friend take part for the first time. Every year a party is organised to get money in the cash box. The association, proudly Manenberg, is dependent on sponsors. All the musicians appear without a fee. Youngsters from the townships rarely see this part of the Cape. Admission to the national park, Cape Point, costs the equivalent of €7. For this, a large family in Manenberg can eat for a day. For them, Cape Point is another world. The headmaster shows the beauty of the southernmost point of Africa to his promising stars. Often, it needs only one adult who believes in a child to show him what is possible in life.